Hi, and welcome to this episode of John's Model Kit Review. In today's fun review video, we are going to be looking at a classic kit. This one's from Monogram, and it is their Airacobra P-39 in 1/48 scale. This is Monogram kit number 5213, and the initial release on this kit was 1969, so this kit is officially older than I am. The Bell P-39 Airacobra was an American fighter aircraft used during World War II. It was a unique fighter aircraft design with the large liquid-cooled V-12 housed in the middle of the aircraft instead of in the nose of the aircraft. Another unique feature of the P-39 was that it housed a large 37mm cannon in the nose of the aircraft where the engine traditionally would go. Though the P-39 was initially designed as a bomber interceptor with a turbo-supercharged engine, the turbo-supercharger was deleted on the production aircraft, and that really limited the P-39's service ceiling to around 15,000 feet. Over 4,000 P-39s were given to the Soviet Union under the Lend-Lease program, and the Soviet fighter pilots enjoyed good success with the type. The P-39 was not as popular with the U.S. forces due to its limited high-altitude performance, but it was used to good effect in the Pacific Theater as a tactical fighter bomber. In this video, we're going to be looking at the built-up kit. We'll also be looking at the instructions and going through those. We'll take a look at the clear parts that are included in the kit and talk about the clarity and fit of those. We'll also talk about the detailing on the interior of the aircraft. We'll look at the exterior surface detailing on the aircraft. We'll also take a look at the fit of the major parts. We'll look at the decals that are included with the kit and how those performed. We'll look at the detailing on the landing gear and other small parts on the kit. And I'll give my conclusions at the end. And we'll be trying to answer the question, with the newer P-39 kits available from Hasegawa and Eduard, is this classic Monogram P-39 still worth building? Looking at the kit instructions, step 1 through 3 have you building the cannon and installing that on the cockpit tub. If you're not going to display the kit with the gun cover open, I suggest leaving these parts out and adding some weight to the nose of the aircraft to keep it from tail sitting once it's completed. Steps 4 and 5 continue with the nose gun installation, and in step 6 we're starting to add some of the cockpit parts as well. Steps 7 through 9 cover more of the cockpit parts. There's an optional pilot figure if you want to use that. I took my time and I detail painted the instrument panel and the other parts of the interior, and what can be seen through the cockpit canopy looks sufficient for the scale. In steps 10 and 11, we're adding detail to the fuselage halves. In steps 12 and 13, we're adding the nose gear and the cockpit tub to the fuselage halves and then closing those. The detail on the nose gear looks good. I didn't have any issues with this step of construction. Steps 14 and 15 cover building the wing assembly and then attaching that to the fuselage assembly and attaching the tail planes as well. I was able to get a very good wing root fit on this kit, and the tail planes themselves fit very nicely. Steps 16 and 17 cover installing the cockpit transparencies as well as the prop assembly. While the rear transparency for the cockpit glass fit pretty easily, the forward section took a little bit of dry fitting and filing to get it to fit to the fuselage and to fit around the canopy doors. Steps 18 through 20 cover the prop spinner, the assembly of the main landing gear, and the assembly of the optional underside ordnance. I had no issues with this step. The detailing on the landing gear looks nice, and everything fit together well. Steps 21 and 22 have you mounting the landing gear and ordnance, as well as the engine and gun covers and cockpit door on the right side of the aircraft. Thankfully, I was able to get a good fit on all of these parts, and the kit looks decent even in its closed-up form. Looking at the painting and marking guide, there are 4 decal options included in this kit. The first option is for a Soviet Lend-Lease aircraft. The second option is for a 347th Fighter Group P-39 on Guadalcanal. The third option is for a 54th Fighter Group P-39 based in Alaska. The first three marking options are all olive drab over neutral gray. The marking option I went with is for a 347th Fighter Group P-400, also based on Guadalcanal. And that's a P-39 with the 37mm cannon replaced by a 20mm cannon for British service. This plane was painted in US equivalent British colors, and it's an earth brown and dark green over a light blue. The decals themselves perform very nicely. They settled into the panel lines, whether they were raised or recessed, and I didn't have any trouble with silvering. Looking at the surface detailing on this kit, it is a mix of raised panel lines and recessed panel lines, as well as some raised rivet detail. And given the age of this kit, I'm really surprised at how well this build turned out. With newer P-39 offerings available through Eduard and Hasegawa, is this classic Monogram P-39 still worth building? Well, if you only build the latest and greatest, I would say go with either the Hasegawa or the Eduard kits. However, if price is a factor, you can pick these Monogram P-39 kits up very, very inexpensively. The fit on the major parts was surprisingly good. The decals were excellent. The instructions are clear. I'm very happy with the way this kit turned out, and this was a really fun nostalgia build. I would recommend this kit to newer modelers or modelers who are looking to get back into the hobby. Well, I'd love to know what you guys think. If any of you have built Monogram's 1/48 scale P-39 previously, please feel free to comment in the comment section below. As always, I hope you found this video entertaining and informative, and until next time, model on.